Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something a little different this time. Two celebrations that, well, they just happen to fall on the same day, March 4th, 2025. So get ready to explore National Sons Day and Paczki Day, two um, seemingly pretty unrelated events, right? But trust me, they offer some really fascinating glimpses into American culture.
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is how these two celebrations, one about family, the other about, well, a Polish pastry,
Yeah.
can say so much about how we connect with our heritage and build a sense of community.
Exactly. So let's jump right in with National Sons Day. I think there's some debate about the actual date, right? Some sources say it's September 28th.
Yeah, that's right.
But we're sticking with March 4th for this deep dive. That's what the National Day calendar says. So,
That makes sense. And it's, a relatively new celebration. It really started gaining traction around 2018.
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, started by Jill Nico, a mother who felt, sons deserve their own special day, just like daughters do. National Daughters Day, of course.
Right, right. Yeah, that's a really lovely sentiment. But it does make you think, like, why did it take until 2018 for this to become a thing?
That's a great question. It could be, well, maybe there's a growing awareness of the unique challenges young men face today
Hmm.
and a need to, really intentionally celebrate and support them.
I hadn't thought of it that way, but that makes a lot of sense, especially in a world where we're kind of constantly reevaluating these gender roles and expectations. It feels like having a day for sons takes on a whole new meaning.
Exactly. And it's not just a day on the calendar.
Yeah.
It's a chance to really think about how we nurture and guide boys into becoming well-rounded people, recognizing their strength, supporting what they want to achieve, especially with all the pressures they face today.
Yeah, yeah. So it sounds like if you're celebrating National Sons Day, the best gift you could give is a good conversation, some quality time, and maybe a bit of encouragement for, whatever they're passionate about.
Absolutely. I think sometimes the simplest things have the biggest impact.
I love that. Okay, so we've tackled the heartwarming. Now let's move on to the mouthwatering. Paczki Day.
Ah, yes. A celebration that really shows the influence of immigrant traditions and, well, everyone's love for a good pastry.
For sure. Now, I know some people might not be familiar with these, so imagine a donut, but like richer, more decadent, and just filled with pure deliciousness. That's a Paczki.
The name, it actually comes from the Polish word paczek, which means package. And, well, it hints at how these treats are tied to the pre-Lenten season.
Wait, so are you saying Paczki Day is like a final hurrah before Lent?
Exactly. Paczki were traditionally made with all the rich ingredients, sugar, eggs, lard,
Yeah.
things people would give up during Lent. It was a way to use it all up and have a final feast.
That's so interesting. It reminds me of how other cultures have similar traditions, like Mardi Gras in New Orleans or Carnival in Brazil, indulging before abstinence. It's a pretty universal thing, huh?
It really is fascinating how you see those same patterns across different cultures and time periods. It's like a shared human experience. But let's get back to Paczki and how this Polish tradition has become, like, part of American culture.
Right. We can't talk about Paczki Day without mentioning places like Detroit and Chicago, right?
Yeah.
They're these huge Polish-American communities, and they go all out for this celebration.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Bakeries there are working overtime to keep up with the demand. You'll see lines out the door for these treats. They're only available once a year.
It's kind of amazing. It started as this small-scale thing in Poland, and now it's this massive cultural phenomenon here in the U.S.
It really is. And it's not just the food itself. It's the community waiting in line together, the anticipation.
Mhm.
It creates this sense of belonging.
I love that. Now, this is making me want to hear more about the different kinds of paczki out there. What are some of the traditional fillings? And are there any modern twists people are trying out? So the fillings, like what are we talking about here? I'm ready to dive in.
Well, the traditional ones, are usually fruit-based. Prune, apricot, raspberry. Custard's a classic, too.
Yeah.
They all give you that, like, authentic Paczki experience.
Oh, that sounds so good. Yeah, I get that, the classic flavors. But you mentioned modern twists. What are some of the more unexpected fillings, the stuff people are experimenting with?
Oh, some of the things they're putting in these Paczki that you wouldn't believe it. In Detroit, some bakeries are doing Nutella, peanut butter, even, get this, vodka.
Vodka. Wait, vodka-infused Paczki? Really?
Yeah, they even come with a little straw. Definitely a modern take,
Yeah.
but it's a hit, especially with the younger crowd.
Wow, I got to give them points for creativity. It's a perfect example of how, traditions can evolve and still keep that connection to their roots.
Exactly. It shows you that people want to keep these traditions alive, make them relevant for, well, for new generations. Who knows? Maybe in a few years, vodka Paczki will be a classic.
Huh. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, we've been talking a lot about Detroit, but you mentioned Chicago, right? Another big Paczki Day city. What makes Chicago's celebrations, unique?
Well, Chicago's up there with Detroit in terms of Paczki Day fervor,
Yeah.
They've got this long history of Polish immigration, and that really comes through in their celebrations. They're vibrant. You'll find Paczki everywhere, the traditional Polish bakeries, even like trendy cafes. Everyone's in on it.
Sounds like if you're in either Detroit or Chicago on March 4th, you're in for a real Paczki experience then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You'll be surrounded by Paczki lovers, bakeries working all night. The air will smell like, well, just pure deliciousness. It's quite something to see.
It's amazing how food can be like that. Bringing people together, creating community, it sparks conversations, keeps traditions alive. It's almost like a shared language, doesn't it? Goes beyond cultural boundaries.
I completely agree. Paczki Day really exemplifies that. It's not just eating. It's about heritage, community, making memories.
It's like this delicious little reminder of, where we come from and how all these different cultural influences, they come together to shape who we are today.
Exactly. And that's something worth celebrating, so we have to
Yeah.
pass on, right, to future generations.
So here we are. We've looked at these two totally separate celebrations, National Sons Day and Paczki Day, happening on the same day. One's about family, the other's about, well, a Polish pastry with a pretty interesting history. But both of them, they point to this need we have for connection, belonging, and I guess, a shared sense of who we are.
You know, it is remarkable, isn't it, how these seemingly different things, when you dig a little deeper, they reveal these universal themes. It's like finding these hidden connections right in the fabric of our culture.
Makes you think, huh? It really does. Like, who knew a pastry could have so much, cultural significance? I feel like we've learned a ton just prepping for this double deep dive.
For sure. It's been great. And, speaking of learning, let's turn it over to you, our listeners. We've talked about National Sons Day, we've talked about Paczki Day, but now we want to hear from you.
Exactly. What do you guys think about all this? Did anything surprise you? Does it connect with like your own experiences or family traditions?
Maybe you have a special way you celebrate with the sons in your life,
Mhm.
or a favorite Paczki memory. Let us know.
Because that's what this whole deep dive is about, right? Sparking curiosity and understanding how these traditions, they contribute to this huge tapestry of human experience.
Absolutely. And, to leave you with something to really think about, here's a final question for you all. How do those food traditions actually connect us to our heritage, and how do they create this sense of community?
Yeah, think about it. What are those dishes that bring back those like vivid memories of your childhood or those special meals you share with family during the holidays? What stories do those foods tell? How do they, shape who you are and connect you to a bigger community?
It's true. Food is way more than just fuel, right? It's a huge symbol of culture, history, the things we all share. So take some time to think about the role it plays in your own life. What does it say about, well, who you are and where you come from?
I love that. So whether you're celebrating National Sons Day with a heartfelt conversation or you're indulging in a Paczki on Paczki Day, just remember to enjoy the moment. Appreciate the things that make life so rich and meaningful.
That's what it's all about. Thanks for joining us on this double dose of celebration. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.